Are you ready to dive through how I'm using AI for marketing, specifically for marketing the book that I am coming out this February? In this video, I'm actually going to walk you guys through the actual prompts and what it looks like on my Chatgpt right now and the actual launch plan that I have for this book. So then you guys can get an idea of how you can use AI for whether you're launching a book like myself, a product, or whatever it is that you have in place basically. And what are the systems that I'm using myself as I am basically gearing up to launch my book very soon. So as a little bit of context, I've been using AI for marketing my videos here on YouTube, on my LinkedIn. I've gotten to be really consistent on social media with the help of AI. And when I was thinking of like, hey, I'm now launching my book and I was creating the marketing plan with my publisher, I'm like, I'm a marketer. I know how to set this up. Like I know who I want to model my launch out after basically. And I also ran a publishing company for about 3 years before, so I know kind of the behind the scenes of what goes on there. So in my head, I was like, I want to create this with AI and want to bring you guys through that journey, again, to give you guys an idea on how to do it on your own. Now, the first thing is I am using Chatgpt projects for this. So if you have no idea what it is, it's pretty simple to set up. So basically here, I have here a projects part. I have the Scale You book launch as a project. I've created it. And what I've done, which is pretty cool, is I can go ahead and either drag chats that I've done before and organize it that way, or I can add a new chat in the project. So this is something that I'm fully utilizing. You'll see that I have like 2XC operations, which is my virtual assistant agency, and I have like content research folders on here. So as I'm fully kind of really taking over and using a lot of ChatGPT's projects to kind of organize myself, I'm gonna walk you guys through how to do that yourself as well. Once you basically have your ChatGPT projects all set up, the next step is to kind of start creating your book launch plan. Now, again, for me, I do have a really good background on what it looks like to launch a book. I have been obsessed with marketing and content creation for years now. So I do have a ton of basically just background knowledge for myself on how to make this quicker and easier. So hopefully I'll be able to walk you guys through that. But essentially for me, when it came to creating a book launch plan, and I'll show you guys how I did that. So basically for me, I knew I wanted to model after a really good book called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. I also wanted to reverse engineer how Alex Hormozi launched the 100 million leads book, because I was basically very much dragged into that hype when that book came out. And also in the book publishing company that I used to run, we used the product launch formula by Jeff Walker through there. And that's essentially kind of the idea of like, okay, I want to create something very similar to, or a combination basically of the three. So basically what I've done over here is I did just that, is I asked ChatGPT to go ahead and create a book launch plan based on, first I was kind of going through just Daniel Priestley's book and then Alex Hormozi, and then I added product launch formula later on. But you can already see that even just that, ChatGPT already gave me a pretty good back and forth of like, oh, you can do this, based on this book, you can add this on. And it's basically just created this whole thing for me. I added a few things of like, hey, this is currently the book launch plan from the publisher. Can you add this into your list? And I basically just, again, went back and forth a lot with ChatGPT and refining this, and now I have essentially a 21-day launch plan where at the end of the 21 days is when my book is published or launched on Amazon. So here, we have, day one, define the offer and the audience, which we already kind of have, just because this book has honestly been 3 years in the making. Build anticipation, early notification list. So a lot of these already started putting in basically the action steps for it. So as a really good example is as I've now started this launch plan, I've also used AI to create a lot of the assets that will be coming out with this book. So part of that, it has been creating kind of a wait list for people who want to basically sign up for the book ahead. We created this really quick and easy sign up waitlist. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put it in the link below. But this was kind of generated with AI because of that list basically of like, hey, create a waitlist, create this kind of page. We broke it down to what kind of assets that we need. So we basically created this, which is the sign up for it. And this took me like a lot of lost a lot of sleep basically. One of the things that I also did for this book is I then created of course, a bonus for people who did go ahead and sign up for the waitlist. So basically, this is what we call the Scale You Delegation Worksheet. So if you're, for example, an entrepreneur, you're trying to figure out what to delegate to a virtual assistant, which is essentially what my whole book is going to be about. I basically created this freebie of like, hey, you want to go ahead and capture the tasks that you're doing within the week. And then if you want to track it, you can track how long it took you. So then you can see how much time this is taking away from the things that you want to be doing. And then you want to go ahead and rank them from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Does this bring you money? Does this bring you results basically within the business? And is this your expertise, or how much do you like doing this task? So as a really good example for like content creation, for me, I really like doing it. It's my expertise, I would say, but it doesn't always bring in money. So I put it in a 5 on that. And when you're delegating, that basically means that this is your focus list. This is where you can get into the zone. This is your, this, you can't really delegate it, which I can't really delegate content creation, at least to this level of creating the videos, just yet to someone else, just because I don't want to have AI creating my videos. So that's an example in itself. The second type of task category is your delegation list. These are basically things that bring in money or results within the business, but you're not the expertise for it, or you don't even like doing that task. So these are things you can easily delegate to someone else. And tasks that kind of bring in money, that kind of either help maintain things, and then it's kind of your expertise you're liking, or that it might not be. These are probably things that should be on your recurring or routine list. So these are tasks that need to be automated, and then basically tasks that don't really bring you results and you don't really like doing it goes into your elimination list. So this I honestly built with Chatgpt. So I'll show you behind the scenes of this. So here I basically went on Chatgpt and asked it like, hey, this is the section of my book that I talk about this. So this is what I pasted on here. And I went ahead and asked it like, hey, can you give me a table that I can use or I can create out of it? And I had so many revisions on how this looked like. Originally, it should have looked like something like this, where it was like a whole week of tracking, rating yourself. It had like a task score, but later on, I didn't like the logic of that. So I went back and forth with ChatGPT on building this out. And you guys can see all the different things that went into building this. And basically now it has ended up where it's something like this, where if I put a score of a 5 of like brings me money and it's something that I like, it gives you the task category and explanation right away, which I found super duper cool. Which basically, again, I built all of this with ChatGPT in about 2 hours. I got really into flow. Again, if it's a task that brings in money, but you don't particularly like, your delegation list. If it kind of brings in money, but not really directly something to just run the business, and you don't particularly like it, or that you do, let's say that you do, then it should be on your routine or recurring list. And if it's not bringing you money and it's not your expertise, elimination list. So I built this basically, again, entirely with ChatGPT's help. I even cleared out and got myself into really good flow of how I want this to look like so people can use it. And yeah, that's basically how I created like one major asset as a bonus basically for people who sign up for the waitlist, and all with ChatGPT using it. I've also used ChatGPT as well as Opus AI when it came to repurposing a ton of my videos. So I did a lot of that as well when it came to planning out what content I want to put out for the book. Is basically I grabbed a ton of the other videos where I talked about different things that is in the book, cut it out with Outsource AI, and went ahead and actually created a caption for it for social media, and then used it for scheduling basically the posts that will be coming out within the next couple of days. And that's basically one of the biggest ways that I've used AI in the last 2 years, is repurposing a lot of the content that I do have. I have like 5 years worth of content, 6 years I think almost now, where I just have it sitting there, and now I'm able to bring it all back using AI. So if you're still kind of debating, I do have a ton of videos on here on how I use AI to repurpose my content. I can also do a little bit of a deep dive into that, but that's essentially one of the ways I'm using it for my book as well. Speaking of content, I've also used AI when it came to creating my newsletter. So like yesterday, I do have a newsletter that I have for 2XU. And what I did at the very end, it's funny because I put it all into one thread. I should have had it separately, but I had ChatGPT, right? Like, hey, this is a bonus for joining the Scale You waitlist early. And then I had it walk through. And of course, I always say this, edit before you post. Don't take what ChatGPT says as your final draft always edit it as best as you can to make it sound like you, make it less AI. So I just took this basically, this is the welcome email that people get when they sign up for the waitlist. So it's made, again, for me as a creative where I have a bajillion ideas all at once, it's made kind of executing all those ideas just a little bit easier. Next is I'm going to use AI for reaching out to podcasts that I could bake on to promote the book. And this is kind of a longer process that I'm still kind of perfecting, but I'm planning to create a custom GPT that has the content of my book, that has the context of who I am and what I do. So when my team starts pitching me to be on different podcasts, they can just use the custom GPT for that. Now, the way that I'm able to do that is on the folder itself, on the project inside of it, is I do have my whole book actually uploaded on here. And one of the other things I'll start doing is I'll also upload all of my information on here, like my public information at least, of like who I am, what I do, and who I work with. So then for this project particularly, it can keep referencing basically my information and the book's information. So when it comes to reaching out to possible, again, podcast or reaching out to other people who could promote my book, I have a pretty cool and nifty ChatGPT to be able to do just that. And honestly, one of the biggest things that I'm going to be using AI for when it comes to launching my book is I'm going to use it to refer to my book, because I've been writing this book for like 3 years now. I've forgotten a few things that I put on there, or I might want to update a few things. So because everything is kind of in here, I can just go ahead and chat and ask, can you break down the chapters of the book? And ChatGPT will basically will read the PDF and break down the chapter of that book. Now you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek of what are the chapters that are included in this upcoming book of mine. And essentially that's kind of the biggest help for me. It's like between me and my team, we're able to use the ChatGPT projects to go back and forth and actually create a lot of really good assets, a lot of really good insights from the book as well, just because it's kind of uploaded into ChatGPT and we don't have to keep going back and forth with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of that walkthrough of how we're currently using AI for launching my book. I hope you guys sign up for the waitlist if this piqued your interest. I didn't want to talk about the book a lot, mostly because I wanted to walk you guys through the process of how I'm doing it. But if you guys are interested, the link will be below. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any questions you might have when it comes to using AI to launch your book. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!